everyone, and welcome to Manuscript Massacre. I'm your host, MC, and today I've decided that after shorter pieces, we'll open up the Twitch to Q&A. So if you're ever following along live and you have some questions about writing, stick around. So let's take a look at some of the questions from our last recording. You got it. So there's a limit now on how many hours you can upload to Twitch, so eventually they'll wipe them out. Oh, cool. You're just getting started, so you have a long journey ahead of you. What I like, the point of this channel is to kind of point out those newbie mistakes, the traps that people fall into, and seeing other people make it might help you, spot it in your own. But definitely check out some of the AuthorTube stuff on YouTube. There's a few of them there. One of my favorites, unfortunately, discontinued her channel. There was some politics involved, but another is Jenna Marisi. She does have a lot of good information in her earlier videos, and there's all kinds of things to help you out. The trick is to keep watching a lot of different videos and just take notes. And also critique groups. Find those critique groups, especially in the genre you're writing. You swap stories, swap chapters, whatever. And by critiquing each other's work, you start to get a feel for the different pieces. So I've been writing now since 2011. I have a couple of books out there and some short stories published. Nothing traditional yet. I stayed away from traditional because my book series is a planned trilogy, and traditional publishing, not so fun fact, if you don't sell enough of your first copy and they take you, if they take you, but you don't sell enough of your first book, they own the rights to the book, and they'll say, sorry, we're not continuing it. You're not allowed to write books 2 and 3. That's not why I started writing. So I was like, that's not going to work. But as you start building your audience up and getting noticed, a friend of mine recently actually just got traditionally published for a kid's novel she wrote. She does like escape room adventure type stuff, and kids eat that up, let me tell you. And so for traditional publishing, it's perfect because it's a one-off, sell as many copies as you can, get it out there. She's doing a Barnes & Noble book signing in a couple of weeks. And hopefully that, launches her platform and gets her some nice publicity. But for now, I start on the self-publishing end. And as I build my audience, hopefully... maybe I'll get a traditionally published book one day. I will say the Discord server is pretty quiet right now. We have a handful of people on there, mostly keeping an eye on things. But I will always be checking it, answering questions, and the others that are on there might chime in too. And if you do have a piece that you want to submit, up to like 2,500 words max, whatever we can get through within a 2-hour window. I'll tear out a new one, but at the same time, I keep it anonymous unless you really want your name out there. And it's just a good way to get that slap in the, like roasting, a slap in the face, but you get to laugh along. I will say that is the key thing to being a writer, is you have to be able to laugh at your own mistakes, because otherwise you're never going to improve. Hey, welcome. You missed out on the show today. Do you have any questions, Raymond? Yeah, when you're a friend, they do one of two things. Either they tear at a new one with no constructive quality, which is in many cases worse, or actually the other way is worse, is when everyone says, oh, it's great, it's wonderful, I loved it. Oh yeah, what'd you like about it? The guy who did the thing. Did you read it? Yeah, it was great, I swear. Sure. And then you get an actual stranger who has no problems telling you exactly how terrible your story was. Better to take constructive criticism and deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right, exactly. Yeah, the ending. It was the best part because it ended. It was finally over. Um, oh, Sean's. You should. This is a good tip too. When you're getting critiques, um, there's always going to be the simple, stupid stuff, the mid-level stuff, the high-level stuff, and the I'm not. There's no way I can do that. So what you should do is when you get your feedback and it drains your soul, divide them up into categories. The simple, stupid stuff you can fix at any time. Just take care of that right away because it's easy and it makes it feel like you're making good progress. Knock those out right away. Then you come to the mid-level stuff, the things that take like change a paragraph here, maybe rewrite half a scene here, but nothing too crazy. Then you get to the high-level stuff, things that require like rewrites of chapters or things that changed in multiple different scenes, and you have to carefully thread things through to make sure you don't have any gaps or plot holes. It's a lot of work, so save it, plan it out, and go through it. But then there's the last, and this is called author's prerogative. Sometimes, even when the person, the criticism is right, it's just too big to do. It's like, you need to make this change or else your story doesn't work according to me. And it's like, yes, but I'd have to rewrite 3/4 of the book to fix that. The answer is no. That's called author's prerogative or writer's prerogative. You made the decision. Okay, it's a learning experience. I need to pay attention maybe when I write the next book that I don't make the same mistake again, but I'm not going to destroy everything I created just so you can have your win. So when you get your criticism, that's the best way to take it, is put off the annoying stuff that pisses you off and requires too much change. Put that off for now. Take care of the easy stuff first and work your way back. So. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's not a bad idea. Do you have a particular platform you recommend? There you go. I like it. Yeah, I'll check that out. That is actually a brilliant idea because you're right. Most of this is audio. You don't need the visual. I'll throw in some things occasionally. But yeah, thank you. I like that tip. So how about you, Raymond? What would you like to get out of this channel? Nice. Do you write? Translate. Nice. I mostly do science fiction and fantasy. I'm also working on a high fantasy steampunk heist novel. Throw all that together in one thing. But I think that could be an interesting mix. Oh, that's cool. Right. And then just combining all of those Tolkien elements together in a steampunk setting with that heist, like the Italian Job style. I think that would be a lot of fun. I had written the outline and I was working my way through. I hit a small snag, and that is that I've never written a heist story before, and I didn't follow the rules for a heist, and so my ending changed it from a heist to an action adventure. And I said, nope, you violated the rules. You'll piss off your readers. Right. So picture Victorian England, where things were, the steam engine was the next big thing, and what they imagined 200 years in the future would look like, with everything being run on steam, coal, technology, the Zeppelins being a big thing for air travel, and some imaginary technologies that just keep to that aesthetic. So lots of gears, lots of aviator goggles. It's more of an aesthetic than an actual world building, but when you can do it well, readers love it. The trick is a lot of people don't write steampunk very well because it's much harder to get the words out that envision that world, whereas a show, a TV show or cartoon can do so much more. There's one on YouTube now that just came out, and it was like a pilot, absolutely amazing for steampunk. Yeah, kind of like that, but yeah, picture more like metallic, um, steam coming out of everything. There's that like that pollution that kind of poisons everything's blackened, or the opposite of blackened, where everything is shiny. Depends on what you want to do. If you want the grunge look or the high society look, and there was the classes of back then too, between the poor and the rich. So there was those completely different worldviews that you can play with. Yeah, lots of cool things you can do with steampunk. And if you just Google steampunk, you'll see all kinds of stuff. Like I said, much more of a visual thing, but when you can pull it off, readers will love you for it. Any other writing questions? I got time. No worries. That guy is both adorable and incredibly annoying at the same time. Reminds me of the parrot. There's a parrot that does something similar, and it's like rainbow colored. And after 2 seconds, you're like, "My eyes, get it away." I have several short stories published in different collections, and I have one novel self-published currently, with a second novel almost done, and a third novel that is the steampunk novels still in the outlining stages. So multiple projects, multiple times. The cool thing is with the collections, two of them I did were shared universe collections. So I met some local writers, and we do writing critique groups and things like that. And we decided to do a shared universe story where everybody writes like a TV episode. It's the same characters, although you can add your own as well, doing different adventures, and it's all contained in one short story. So one of them we did was called Starship Blunder, and it's basically, if you've ever seen Red Dawn or McHale's Navy, it's like McHale's Navy in space. I'm dating myself on that one, but it's a comedy set on a spaceship with a crew, with a ship that's fallen apart and a crew that's fallen apart. So that was a comedy one that was pretty good. And then we did another one called Enigma Station. And that one was like Deep Space Nine almost, if you've ever seen Star Trek, where you have the space station, but instead of somebody building it, they discovered it. They don't know who built it or why it's there. They just decided to take up residence and refurbish it into a new buzzing space station. Yeah, you don't realize sometimes you go into something with high hopes, and it's like, oh, that's great. Everybody contributes. It'll be nice and easy, and then it turns into hell. Um, yeah, literary magazine, it can the trick is keeping up with it, because if you have to do issues every month, you have to constantly come up with new things. You have to critique each other's work. You have to put it together, come up with images, and yeah, that can be brutal in a hurry. But it's cool that you did it for a little bit. Another thing that I like to do, if you decide to do science fiction or fantasy, yeah, right. Uh, Try to be as authentic as you can. There's always embellishment here and a little, nuance there. But when you try to oversell yourself, people will start to notice. So three guys posing as six authors wouldn't be so bad. But we had about 12 writers per collection as an average. So it wasn't bad. A couple people wrote 2 stories. The main editor wrote 3 stories, that sort of thing. Somebody wants me to do my steampunk one as a collection as well, that's set in the same universe. I'm like, that could be an interesting idea. Nice. Yeah, one volume. I did one recently. another guy. This guy was actually from England, but he put, it was a bunch of us. I'm from the States, and so we had people from all over. But the guy who was putting it together was from England, and he did a post-apocalypse magazine, like how to survive the end of the world, and everybody. So some of the things were short stories, and some of them were like recipes. That like, oh, post-apocalyptic cooking. What can you do with your radioactive ingredients? Things like that. Interesting idea. I have no idea when the second issue is ever going to be made, but it was cool to try. And it doesn't hurt to try. Just watch out for pay scams. If they're asking you to pay for something, chances are you don't want a part of it. You know, there's some contests and whatnot where it's like the money goes towards people. If it's a contest, people win money and things like that. You can try, but there's a great site. Remember this site, Writer Beware. Google Writer Beware, because that one will list out the different scams. A lot of people with vanity publishing and contest scams and all this get written up in there. So it's always good. Whatever you're thinking of trying, just double check to see if it's on there. That was one of my fatal mistakes early on. Was I went with I put a short story in a collection that was the editor was from India, and they made it out to look like it was a big company. It was just a single person, and they, which could be fine, but what happened was they took your stories, didn't pay you for them. You were able to keep the rights to your stories, which is good. But then they didn't format the book, like format the text. They formatted the cover, and they put a picture on each story. But everything else was exactly as you submitted it. Spelling errors, formatting issues. My scene breaks were manuscript format, so it ended up being hashtags. They didn't edit it at all, and they had the gall to ask me for full retail price for my author copies. I said, "Excuse me, I'm not paying full price. There's nothing in it for me if I can't sell it to actually make something back." So I negotiated a deal with them, and I bought like 50 books from them. It ended up being. They were trying to sell the book for $25, which it was not worth $25. And so they sold it to me for $12 a piece, and I'm selling them now for $15. So I'm literally only making $3 on each book. And of course, the quality of the stories was not vetted, so they just accepted any story as long as it vaguely resembled the theme they were doing. So some of them were really, really terrible. And it's a learning experience, I paid for 50 copies is going to take me a long time to sell, but I'm not buying any more from it, and I learned. Yeah, exactly. So be careful about those scams. Yeah, so that's the other half of it, is read the rules. So when I read it, it said you keep the rights to your story. I said that's good, but then they said we also don't pay you. I'm like, that's less good. And then I found out that they wanted full retail. I'm like, come on, you're killing me now. So yeah, definitely read that fine print whenever you're signing away your rights. So one of the things I'm looking to do now as well. So every Wednesday I'm going to be doing a critique. But what I might start doing if I have enough time for editing, right? Exactly. What I may start doing is like short 15-minute episodes with writing tips and challenges, newbie mistakes. If that's something you guys want, let me know. Yeah. I don't claim to be an expert. These are things that I've learned from other author tubers, from my own research, from my own writing experiences, my critique groups. Just build on the knowledge you have. So I won't oversell myself. And if you ever catch me making a mistake in my videos, point them out. I'll happily take the criticism and give you shout outs for it. I will accept it. I will totally accept it. Nice Jack the Ripper special, huh? Oh, that's great. I love it. Yeah, I'm in another Discord server, and they constantly get bots. Actually, they finally implemented a new procedure to help reduce it, but every now and then it's like, be ye human or be ye bot? And the answer is very much bot, because they immediately start spam messaging everybody on the server. If this ever gets big enough, what I'll start to do is I'll start to do like tiers and whatnot for submissions. But the cool thing is anyone who joins the Discord now is permanently in there and never has to pay for anything. So hopefully if I start building that brand up and whatnot, that'll be cool because you'll always be in there. Really? I'm in a couple. I haven't seen the AI art bots take over just yet, but the definitely be careful with AI art in your stories. I'll warn you about that. If you have it in your cover, there's potential litigation that may come up at some point, and you're copywriting and this and that, and the argument of stealing the artist's livelihoods. Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing is whenever. So if you ever spot that on my server, you let me know right away. I'm kicking them out. But like I said, I'm trying to keep that well filtered. So you have to sign your little Google form, life away, and then I'll let you in. I'll be exclusive. Yeah. Blocked. Punch. Hell yeah. Nope. And I see the Google form. Yeah, no worries. I see the Google form, so I will let you in shortly. Have a good evening or day all, and I will hopefully see you on Steam soon.